causes of disunity. Last week we started talking about this phenomenon we call unity, or just the opposite, disunity. We gave it an origin and also we gave it some characteristics. This week we're asking the question, what causes disunity? Let's find some answers.
Last week we found out that unity is related to love, to the capability to love and to be loved, something that we got from God and that broke with sin. We stopped with God reaching out to Abraham and the beginning of a relationship meant to fix the broken and bring restoration.
The lesson starts with reminding us all the blessings and the successes of Israel were going to happen, but with one condition: if they remain faithful and obedient to God's instructions given by Moses. Unfortunately, they failed to do so. In the book of Jeremiah, we read how much and how many times God pleaded to them to at least acknowledge their iniquity. However, Israel chose to worship idols and to live self-centered lives. And this had distanced them from what was really uniting them. It just drew them apart more and more from each other, to the point that their power and their strength was diminishing. Further away they were going from God, further apart were from each other. Their disunity was caused by disobedience and unfaithfulness.
It's not easy to admit how broken we are, especially when we think that we got it, not to mention when we actually like it. And we easily forget. When we depend with humility on God, we can do amazing things with Him. But when we decide to take things in our own hands, the direction is very different.
It is worth mentioning that another cause of disunity is the strong confidence of being right in your own eyes. And as much as this is a strong virtue of character that we can have, it can also be influenced by many other priorities than being faithful to God, such like greediness or material things in life, or position of authority, or even having superior credentials in front of our name. Regardless of the origin or the motivation, self-confidence can always transform into self-righteousness, and what follows then is everybody does what they see fit. How ironic. Today we live in a relative truth age. Everybody could be right and everybody could be wrong. There is no definition of good and evil. Everybody is a judge for himself. Morale has sunk into the perception of religious closed-mindedness. Even here in Canada, you can choose what gender fits you best. And I'm asking myself, how far can self-confidence and being right in your own eyes can go? Definitely, this is not uniting us. Obviously, it's dividing us.
It's amazing, but there are people that may be in huge distress, that need to be saved from drowning, from burning, from illness. And they will be explaining to you and demanding from you how to save them. When we lose sense for our insufficiency, we are dangerous.
In 930 BCE, Israel was divided into two kingdoms, northern and southern, soon after Solomon's son Rehoboam became king. What was the cause of this separation? Was it lack of experience? Was it a bad choice of advice? Was it old generation philosophy of life against young generation philosophy of life? Or was it all of the above? Regardless, whatever it was, it ended up breaking up the 12 tribes, breaking up their strength, breaking their potential for success, and breaking up their promise to God. Was it this time disunity or division caused by misinterpretation of power and authority? Obviously it was. And how common of a mistake it is every time someone is given a little bit more power over other people, and immediately they start giving in to the fear of the probability of losing this same power, and they start making unwise choices.
The split of Israel is very interesting and sad, because the king decided to be tough. He put a burden on the people that had nothing to do with God's intention for his people. The oppression started during Solomon, but his son was the one who had to deal with it, and his dealing broke the nation. Are there such burdens today that may break us?
This unity and division continued not only in the Old Testament, but also in the New Testament. And the lesson draws our attention to the 1 Corinthians chapter 1, where Paul is struggling to unite the church in Corinth. Why? Because the believers there have divided themselves in following the authority of Paul, or the authority of Apollos, or the authority of Cephas, or Jesus Christ. You can't do that. My way of paraphrasing Paul's words in response. We all follow Christ. We have to unite around him. Moreover, the apostle warned the church that there will be savage wolves coming after him that will prey upon the believers. Teachers that will come and teach differently. Teachings that will guide the believers differently. The apostle's resentment against those teachers was very vivid, and his warning stands very clear of how much he valued the unity in the Church of Christ. So next time, probably, when you hear a teacher with a new teaching, we have to be very careful if his ideas or his beliefs have led to nothing else but separation and division in our communities. What will my response be? What will your response be? I will leave it up to you.
Causes of disunity is the topic for this study, and today we may name a big list of issues that we are facing as a church. What history is showing us is that when we turn on our own understandings, theories, and when we build our own teachings, we are running towards a disaster. Paul's counsel to Timothy to focus on the truth, which is Jesus, and to not take part in trivial and speculative topics, should be a great guideline for us as well.
Join us next week for the lesson that they all may be one.